Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Amrinder Singh. Today, we're gonna talk about how verbs change in the future. I already made a podcast how verbs change in past, so you can also check out that one. But today, we're gonna talk about how verbs change in future. So actually, I had planned to make a podcast about like a verbs and how they change in every situation, how they change in past, in future, and present. It depends on the situation. It depends on the pronoun. It depends on masculine and feminine. It's singular or plural. And I was thinking to make a podcast about it, but then I thought it's gonna be so long and I don't have time to make that long podcast at this moment. At this moment, like my schedule is really tight. So that's why I missed last week. I couldn't make a podcast last week. But like I'll make maybe another day when I explain everything about the world. I'll also make the video. So make sure you follow me on YouTube or also follow me on the Facebook. And today we are only gonna talk about the verb how they change in future. So if you wanna support me, if you like my podcast and you wanna support me, you can support me through Patreon. Link is in the description. Your support can buy me a time, which I can use to make more podcasts and videos for y'all with better quality. So yeah, if you wanna support me, just check out my Patreon. Or if you want more stuff from me, then also check out my Patreon. Links are in the description. All right. So now let's kick this thing off. So I'm gonna take few verbs and I'm gonna show you the example. So let's take the verb pina, right? So it means drink, right? But like it changes. It doesn't stay pina in future, and it also changed according to masculine and feminine, singular and plural. So it also changing according to the pronoun. That's what I'm gonna talk about. So pina, if you wanna say I'll drink the water, right? How would you say in Punjabi? You will say मैं पानी पीऊंगा if you are guy, right? मैं पानी पीऊंगा. If you are girl, you will say मैं पानी पीऊंगी, right? That's the difference. It depends on gender, right? So like like in some people, especially what I'm talking about like my accent, the Malba accent, the way we talk. Some people, they instead of saying piunga, they say pimanga or pinyanga, something like that, or pimangi, right? So yeah, so I can't speak for those accents. I think especially for Madhya or the Baba, and but I'm gonna talk about myself. All right. So when it comes to the pronoun man, some people say pimanga, but we say piunga, all right? For a guy, piunga, for a girl, piungi, all right? So if you wanna say he will drink the water, right? How would you say that? Then you say o pani piuga, o pani piuga, all right? Now there is no nasal sound. When you were saying मैं पानी पीऊंगा, there was a nasal sound. But when you are using O, then piuga, piunga, piuga, piunga, piuga. You can notice. Just just go a little bit back for a few seconds and listen to me when I was saying piunga and piuga. There is slightly difference because when I use O, then there's no nasal sound. When I use man, then there was a nasal sound. All right. O pani piuga. That's for guy. If you're mentioning a guy, if you're gonna mention a girl, like she will drink the water, then you say O pani piyugi. O pani piyugi. When if you're a girl, you are gonna use man, then it's main pani piyungi with nasal sound. If you are gonna talk about a third person, a girl, then you will say O pani piyugi without a nasal sound. All right. So that's how this verb changes. The verb pina, which means drink, that's how it changes according to the pronouns. All right. Let's say you wanna say, well, you drink the water. You wanna ask somebody, well, you drink the water. How would you say in Punjabi? Well, if you are gonna use for plural, or if you are gonna use for use to respect a person, then you would use tusi in Punjabi, alright? So if you would use tusi, then it's going to be tusi pani piyonge, tusi pani piyonge. Now verb changes to piyonge. Before it was see, it was like piyunga or piyuga, right? Now you put tusi, then it's changed to piyonge, right? Piyonge. So if you wanna use tum for a guy, if you're talking to a guy and you wanna use tum, then you will say tum pani piyenga, tum pani piyenga, or you can say tum pani pimenga, pimenga or piyenga. That's how would you say. If you are going to talk to a girl and you're gonna use tum, then it's going to be tum pani piyengi, tum pani piyengi. All right. You can also notice when we are gonna use this word for a feminine or girls, then this verb is ending with e sound. Piyengi, piyugi, right? Stuff like that is ending with e sound. When you're gonna talk about a guy, it's gonna end with a sound, like piunga, piuga, right? Pimenga. So it's a sound at the end. So if you wanna say we will drink the water, then it's going to asi pani pimangi, right? Pimangi. Now you can see now it's pimangi, all right? We put we, that's pimangi. If you are girls, then you can say asi pani pimangiya, pimangiya, all right? But when it comes to asi, I think you can also use as a guy, because some girls also use that asi pani pi mange. So when it comes to asi, I think you can also, even your girl, you can also use it as masculine, because yeah, some people use that. Or you can also make the separate. It's not a big deal. When it comes to asi, you can use whatever. Asi pani pi mange or asi pani pi mangi. So if you wanna say they will drink the water, now, if you're mentioning that's the mixed that's the mixed plural uh, or masculine plural, then it's going to be o pani peengi, o pani peengi. If you're going to talk about a bunch of people, there's also men and a woman, then you would say o pani peengi. If you're going to talk about only girls, the group of women or girls, then you would say o pani peengiya, all right? Peenge and peeningiya. So if you listen my podcast again, you would notice how this verb changes. The verb pina, it changes according to masculine and feminine. It changes according to plural or singular. It changes according to pronouns. Was it मैं, ओ, तुम, तुसी, stuff like it changes. That's how verb changes. All right. So keep in mind that was the verb, how it changes in future. So let's take more example, the quick example. So if you wanna use khana, khana means eat, all right? मैं खाऊंगा, all right? मैं सेव खाऊंगा. I'll eat the apple. मैं सेव खाऊंगा. मैं सेव खाऊंगी. If you're a girl, you will say मैं सेव खाऊंगी. Alright. You can also say सेब. मैं सेब खाऊंगी. Alright. Or you can also say सेव. If you wanna talk about third person, a guy o सेव खाऊगा, then it's going to खाऊगा. O सेव खाऊगा. If that's the girl, then o सेव खाऊगी. Right? She will eat the apple. O सेव खाऊगी. You can also notice there's no nasal sound when we use o. So if you wanna use तुसी, then it's going to तुसी सेव खाऊंगे. तुसी सेव खाओगे. Now it's खाओगे. There's also nasal sound, but it's खाओगे instead of खाऊंगा. खाऊंगा for a guy. If you're gonna use मैं and your guy, you say खाऊंगा. But if you're gonna use तुसी, then it's going to be खाओगे. If you wanna use तुम, then it's going to be खाएगा. तू सेव खाएगा. Now it's खाएगा. If you're a girl, तुम सेव खाएंगी. Alright? खाएंगी. If you wanna use ਅਸੀਂ ਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ. If ਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ. Or if you are a girl, you can say ਅਸੀਂ ਖਾਵਾਂਗੀਆਂ. Or you can, even your girl, you can use ਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ. ਉਹ ਖਾਣਗੇ. If it's masculine or mixed plural, then it's going to be ਉਹ ਖਾਣਗੇ. ਉਹ सेव ਖਾਣਗੇ. ਉਹ सेव ਖਾਣਗੀਆਂ for women. Alright? So let's take another example. Karna. Karna means which basically do, right? मैं काम करूँगा. I'll do the work. करूँगा, right? मैं काम करूँगी for girl. वो काम करूँगा for guy. वो काम करूँगी for girl. You would also notice here when we use o, there is no nasal sound. When I use man, there was a nasal sound. For mixed and masculine plural, o काम करनगे, right? O काम करनगे, which means they will do the work. O काम करनगियां, they will do the work. If those are woman or girl, then it's going to be o काम करनगियां. तुसी काम करोगे, well, you do the work. तुसी काम करोगे. तू काम करेगा. Now if you're gonna use तू, then it's going to तू काम करेगा. If it's a girl, then you say तू काम करेंगी. Alright? If you wanna use ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. Alright? ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. So you can see I explain all these three verbs, how they change, right? So how they change, right? If you follow this method, you can also figure out other verbs, how they change in future. Just follow the same rules and try to guess how they change according to masculine, feminine, singular, plural, or according to pronouns in future. So if you think you are getting the value from this podcast and you wanna support this podcast, then you can support it through Patreon and PayPal. Links are in the description. Everything would be appreciated. It would also help this podcast to grow more. By the way, if you had time to understand Punjabi pronouns like active pronouns, passive pronouns, possessive pronouns, then check out my new ebook. It's completely free. Link is in the description. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and learned something new today. I'll be back with another lesson in another day.